Welcome to the Wreck-It Podcast, Episode 2.
Hi guys, we're here with the second Wreck-It Podcast, and I'm here with Jake.
Hey.
Samuel.
Hey guys.
And Jamie.
Hey, what's up?
So today we're going to be talking a bit more about the channel, what we're up to, what we plan for the future, us as people and how we mesh with the channel. But to begin with, if you guys remember in the last podcast at the end, we do a thing where basically one of us tells a story and the other three have got to try and guess if it's true or false. So that story is about themselves. And for our first podcast, Jamie finished on his story, which was, do you want to remind us?
Yeah, so my story, well, my true or false claim was that I was almost in a porno one time, a porn video one time. And I had to kind of leave it out there as to, I couldn't give you any context. All I told you was that it got published online. I know it got published online because I researched for research purposes, strictly research purposes.
Without you in it.
It wasn't me in it. No, I didn't feature in it, but I was almost in it.
Right.
So should we just quickly remind everyone what we thought it was?
Right, so what did you guys think it was?
I thought it was true.
I went for true as well.
My gut feeling was false.
Okay, so I can reveal that, insert drum roll. Yeah, so I can actually reveal that it was true. It was a true story. Believe it or not, I was almost in one. So let me explain the context, because it sounds really weird, but it wasn't as weird as it sounds, if that makes sense. So it was when I first went to Spain. And so someone said it was a Spanish, it could have possibly been a Spanish one. So that was not far from the truth. I was in Spain and I was in Madrid and I came up from the metro to the top floor, the ground floor. And this was the first time I'd ever seen Madrid before in my life. So it was the first time I'd seen the city, seen the architecture, and I was with my dad at the time, and he found a place to buy cigarettes, and he was like, just hold out, I'm going to go buy some cigarettes, and while I go buy them, just wait, because we had like the suitcase at the time. And then, as I was waiting, this kind of, I don't know, this public humiliation porn display kind of just unfolded in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I've literally just got here. Is this normal in this country? Is that what they do? And yeah, it was just like, they were just, this one kind of dominatrix woman was like, I don't know, publicly humiliating this kind of girl, like by throwing rubbish on her and like undressing her in public and shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I think I've seen that.
It doesn't surprise me. But yeah, and then, so I had no idea what was going on, but something about me thought that it could have been something like that, something porn related. So about a year later, I researched it online. I found it.
Oh, man.
So I found the video and I was like, holy shit, this is where I was. I was standing right here. And I stopped the video at every different angle. It sounds kind of weird, but at every different angle so I can look at the streets to see if I was there, and I wasn't there. So the only thing I can think of is that they must have done that several times, and the take they used was not the one that I was there. So I was a true story.
Wow.
So it wasn't that you were propositioned, that you were almost in one.
Exactly. So I was like Villager 6 basically, like, or
Right.
Plumber 6 in this case or something.
There's always 6 plumbers.
Yeah. So so the way I kind of worded it wasn't so much that I was actually taking part in one, was just that I was almost
In one.
exactly. So
Nice.
that was my.
So that's got to be awkward with your dad.
Well,
It's like the sort of place you don't want to be with your parents.
Right.
Yeah, especially since the first one you shot together was so good.
you know what the funny thing is? I could have made that story even weirder by saying me and my dad were almost.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to redo the first podcast for that.
Just
So if anyone's listened to it, wipe your memory. I want to hear it like that.
But yeah, so that was
Yeah.
my story. That was a true
fair
story.
enough. Yeah.
That was a quite interesting one.
It's
So.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We obviously being, a team of people who like a challenge, we've
Yeah.
got to keep score because I've got 1 point now. So
And I've got 1 point.
Nathan has as well.
That's a good idea. We should keep a tally of this.
Yeah.
Line fucked.
Next, we're going to talk about the freeze video, which we've finished. Jake and Samuel, do you want to tell us more about that? Does it involve G2?
Well, so basically the challenge is, let's just say you're somewhere out on the street, right? So actually, what I like to do is explain it from the pedestrian's point of view, because I find that always quite funny. Out in the street, someone just like chirps up, talks to you, which is half of what we do anyway, and then they ask you for directions, they ask you for something, and then they just stand completely still on instruction of, well, in my case, Samuel. What would you do?
I don't know.
It's really difficult to know, isn't it?
It's
I feel
so
like
weird.
everyone
It's so
reacts
awkward.
differently.
Yeah, and that's why I think it works so well, because we just stand there.
I think it's
What do
such a
they do?
British thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're too polite to say anything or do anything. We'll just stand there for ages.
We're also
Exciting.
curious, like, why they're doing it. And you don't want to walk away. You want to, like, find out the reason for it.
Or you walk away and keep looking back for about 10 minutes. Or
Which is what
however
those guys
long.
did, right?
Yeah. So, I think in terms of videos or ideas, it's been one of my favourites. One of my favourites to film. One of my favourites to be part of.
I mean, it suits me perfectly. I don't have to do anything. You just do nothing. Like, you don't really... You start a conversation, then you just freeze, just zone out. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But you know what the funny thing was? Is the lady was so polite to you because you said to the lady, just not the stain if you could. And then she came back after taking the first picture and she was like, I think I got it, but I didn't get the stain, so don't worry. She was so nice to you and you're just standing there.
What
like,
was funny is when she went to show the picture one of the times, it had gone off the screen already.
Right.
So, as in, the camera like fade out after a bit. And so I think she saw it and was like, oh, I have to take that again. With me just standing there, just doing absolutely nothing.
But the thing is, they could rob your mobile if they could take your camera. What?
Oh,
She
yeah.
put it back in your pocket.
Yeah.
Literally opened your pocket, put it in there, and just walked off.
That's the way to call the bluff, isn't it? If they freeze, just walk off with their phone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to be fair, it's something like we've got to have a quite high trust in the public.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
We're using.
Although saying that, the guy that you asked for directions to the clock tower, you didn't give him anything. You just Superman
No.
posed to him.
Well, I don't think I need to give him anything. I gave him the Superman pose.
This is true.
So
He was just like straight down there, and you're
Yeah.
just saying nothing. That way.
yeah,
Go that way.
love it. He just kept looking back as if like, okay, he's gonna respond or
Yeah.
Like the
something.
amount of reassurance he gave you.
Yeah, and I just gave him nothing. I feel kind of bad.
I found the awkward thing with this challenge as well is that, especially in Brighton, like half the people you stop, they just assume you're going to ask for money, like off the bat.
Yeah.
So like once you get past that awkward stage and they kind of connect with you, then it's pretty chilled out. But it's making that initial connection that can be so awkward.
You know, I think it's the thing of like, if you want something like money or something like that, people are less inclined to stop because they think, what do they want? They're selling something. But if you look genuinely lost or you're genuinely that you need help, people are more inclined to help you, right?
Yeah,
Like when you ask for directions or ask for the time, people stop immediately for that.
I think I do quite well at looking lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Although with your clipboards, how you remember when we did the
Oh yeah.
how many times did someone
That was tough, wasn't it? Because the problem you have with that is you're holding a clipboard and people look at that, they think, oh, it's to do with surveys, which I don't want to do, which obviously it was.
Yeah.
But I think, there were times where I was there for about, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't get a single person to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of notice as well after a while that you just get a feeling for what people are going to stop and which people aren't. Do you find
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and I guess I'm just thinking of your name tag. Do you remember your name tag that we wrote for you?
What was on it
We
again?
just wrote Nathan with a smiley face.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so official.
I think that did the trick.
I think so.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of it's like the way you present yourself. Like, not that we have done, but like if you dress up in a suit, people are a lot more likely to stop for you. Whereas if you look, a bit rough, maybe like you're homeless or something,
Whoa.
people will just assume, sorry, Jake.
Well, they stopped
Slow
for
down.
Jake, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you look like you're about to ask for money, then they expect you're about to ask for money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think part of it as well, though, is like the people who wouldn't stop for you, they probably wouldn't play along with what we're doing anyway.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't be the best people to do it with.
Well, we have like a lot of things that didn't make the cut. We've got loads of like video clips and things that didn't make the cut. And one clip that didn't make the cut was, do you remember the time that we thought to, so the challenge was to go and get a selfie with someone, but you have to give them a really weird reason. And if they agree to the reason and
Oh,
take
yeah.
the selfie, you get the point.
Yeah.
So we tried to do that, and I found that really difficult. So I went up to a guy, and The excuse was, I can't remember why. The excuse was, basically, my boyfriend thinks that I've got a bottom bitch, and I need to get a picture with someone just to prove that it's true. That's the
worst excuse I've ever heard.
I can't remember why we thought that was a good idea. But I just went up to some guys like, yeah, basically, I need to pretend I've got a bottom bitch. So do you mind if I take a picture with you? And he just walked straight the other direction. So I can't remember why we thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
But
They noped out there straight away.
yeah. So and the thing is, people don't want to be like on camera or like like taking pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Also, I find the people who like trust you to begin with and stop to talk to you are also the kind of people who feel awkward leaving, like during the freeze challenge.
Right.
So which kind of suits us well.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets the time racking up, right?
Yeah, precisely.
So what we're going to talk about next is the other video we filmed before the freeze one, which was the rubber sketch.
Mr. Rob Banks.
Mr. Rob Banks.
Mr. Rob Banks.
Do you wanna-
Well, there's a starting point on that, I think,
Oh yeah.
which is it's got to be one place, isn't it?
Yep, your house.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh
Like,
man.
How many hours we wasted there?
I think of any of the videos we filmed, that is like my favourite scene we filmed so far.
It was the hardest one to get as well.
Hardest one to get, but the most rewarding.
Yeah.
And that's the Dominoes man scene.
Yeah. So, well, you can give some insight as to how many days did we spend doing that?
I reckon
Stupid
we easily
scene.
met up like 4 times. Easy.
Yeah.
Just
and
for one scene. Not even for the video, just one scene in that video.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was really annoying because I had to move both the cars off the driveway, just completely empty the driveway. And then every time we finished, I had to put both the cars back on the driveway.
And then the dogs would have to go away because they'd like bark at the
intruder.
and
And then also every time we did it again, we had to repeat the cycle. We had to keep doing that. Oh, it was like a nightmare to do. But in the end, so the initial plan was to stop people on the street.
yeah.
That was the initial plan.
And that's kind of why we met up to begin with. You know, we thought, it'll take half a day,
Yeah.
if that, like an hour to find someone. It's like, you had a fair amount of traffic,
Yeah.
but for some reason, whenever we'd start filming, it would just go deserted,
Right.
or like the kind of people that we'd want to walk by. Because, for example, if it was an elderly person, you couldn't really ask them to help take a TV out of the house.
Right.
We did like the biggest dickheads. So we had to compromise and try and find someone who was younger and able to do that.
Equally,
And-
someone who couldn't chase you down the road.
Yeah, I don't want a young guy either, beating me up, but
Or who wouldn't chase you down the road.
But the funny thing
Yeah.
was, and this is probably my funniest moment, and I was laughing so much, is that the first time we were filming, so we were talking on WhatsApp or Messenger or something like that, because we were all, so Nathan had his camera point, I was in my car with a hidden camera, and you were in my house
Right.
waiting for people to walk past. And my neighbours were really taking an interest in Nathan because Nathan kept walking up and down the street.
Oh yeah.
And I just heard them talking fuck, where's he going? Where's he going? Oh, he's coming back again. And then one time, is he playing fucking Pokemon Go or something? But in the end, I think that, it was worth it because in the end, I think we did a one-shot take. So Samuel, how did it come of the idea that because I think this was maybe the 3rd or 4th time we did it.
yeah, I
And
think
then
it's
we
the most Samuel story of how I came up with it. So I was thinking okay, we want people to walk by the house, and obviously people weren't doing that. So my next thinking was, okay, how do we draw people to the house? So my first thinking was, do we order something off Amazon? But then it could turn up at any time, and Jamie's not going to sit in his car for the whole day. Wait for some delivery driver to come.
And the postman we thought of too.
Yeah, the postman, but then I don't know what time he turns up.
Yeah, he turns up in the morning. So it was do we have to come back tomorrow and get the postman?
Yeah, and then it occurred to me, I was like, oh, it's Tuesday. And then I looked at Jamie and said, oh, I'm kind of hungry right now. And then I was like, hold on, 2 for Tuesday.
Yeah. So
I'm feeling a bit of Domino's now, actually.
Yeah,
Free
me too.
advertisement, there you go.
yeah.
Maybe they'll send us pizzas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should get some sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my top sponsor, Domino's, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, people take gear and things like that. They get all the merch and stuff like that. I would be happy. No merch or just pizza.
Just pizza.
Yeah. Give us the energy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But, yeah. What was I saying?
So 2 for Tuesday. So then I think, okay, we order a couple pizzas. get the guy or girl to come to the door, or window in this case. and I was thinking, okay, so how do you stop them from quickly heading off? Because they're going to be in a rush, they got a job to do. And then Jamie was like, oh, offer them a tip.
Yeah.
Like, what delivery driver is going to turn down a tip?
Right. So, and then in the end, I think when you said to the guy to give you a tip, he said, yeah, I'm just trying to just pass him the things through the window. But the thing is, the funny thing was my curtains are like kind of a bit like translucent, I would say. And when your hand reaches out the window, you can see the black and white stripes. And then your head just comes out the window and you got the mask and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a stupid gimmick, but it was just so funny.
He just looks so confused.
I think
Yeah.
the fancy dress just made it so much better.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's
Yeah.
the way to go in the future.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing we actually do that you don't see too much on a lot of other channels, is that essentially we have a character prop every time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually,
Every
was,
time.
you know, yeah, we went out, I think that day when we did, me and Samuel went out when you were doing Petrov, right? So we went out and we had to find specifically the typical touristy thing, Union Jack hats, flags, whatever. And it was quite expensive, I think.
Even the postcards and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing is the next week in Poundland, they had literally everything on sale because it was like the royal wedding or something like that. And, like, it had literally like stacks and shelves full of that.
Petrov's whole wardrobe was a...
Yeah, literally, we could have bought the...
I think I've got some of that stuff still, so
Yeah.
anytime we want to bring him back,
Petrov will come back.
he will come back.
I'm thinking in a foreign country, in another country.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, just change the postcard, change the hat.
In Latvia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you got to speak Latvian.
But then we got to go to... No, let's forget that one.
Yeah, because then otherwise, like, I don't know where I am. You're in Latvia.
So you don't sound... Well, I'm not going to do the accent. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but they'll be like, you don't sound anything like
Right, exactly.
Like,
They'll just speak to you in
that?
Latvian. Is
Yeah.
Latvian the language?
Who knows?
Is Latvia a country?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so for our next topic, we're going to have a look at our individual personalities. We're going to have a quick chat about our weaknesses and our strengths relating to the channel. So
Okay,
we're going to start with Jake.
Forget the strengths, I just want to hear the weaknesses right off the bat.
Yeah, let's
Just
go
throw
with
each other all
weaknesses.
So-
under the bus.
Jake's weakness is probably very obvious. So I'm not sure if we spoke about it in the last podcast,
I think
but
we did.
me and you, we drove into Brighton to film with Jake.
We definitely did.
And we couldn't find Jake at the agreed meeting point. We tried to ring him, can't get through. So I have this thought of like, I wonder when he went to bed. So we check our phones on Facebook. Do you remember? And it had last active 4 hours ago, and we're there at like 9 or 10 in the morning. And somehow, I personally think it's bullshit. But apparently he slept through 3 or 4 alarms. His aunt couldn't.
That should be
wake
the
him
true or
up.
false story for Jake.
Yeah. And then like we did whatever we did, got back home, had lunch, did other things, and then we get a message about 1 or 2 p.m. like, oh, sorry guys, I've overslept. So Jake's timekeeping and sleep pattern.
Sleep pattern. I'd
Well,
say.
actually, I thought of another weakness. So timekeeping.
We're just going for him here.
Yeah. So timekeeping is not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think Jake's quite punctual. The issue is that he arrives on time, then needs to take a
Oh,
poop.
Yeah.
and it's not like a 2-minute poop either.
Oh boy, it is not a 2-minute poop.
It's like solidly 15 minutes minimum.
Yeah.
Enough time for like an episode of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like just sat with your phone watching it on the toilet.
Just watch the podcast.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that do you remember online Jake one time had a shit tally?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, he did.
It was
And he-
on Tamal's Facebook wall, of all places. And then I started counting up in Pokemon instead of numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I...
It was about 3 a day, wasn't it? About
Yeah,
90 to 100 a month.
But I looked it up. Apparently, 1 to 3 a day is healthy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought. 3 healthy.
Wow.
Me. Sure.
So this is the issue. So we arranged to meet you on time, and then we have to. Okay, fuck, he's taking a shit. So we just gotta hang out a little bit more.
Scout out the toilets, find out which one he's at.
Yep. And he comes out with his gammy wet hands. Hey guys.
Yeah, I don't think timekeeping as much as just body functions really. So
Yeah.
I don't sleep very well.
Yeah.
Even now, I've had like 3 hours sleep, and probably if you had checked Facebook at 9, it would have been like last active 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
But managed to get up this time, and yeah, just poor poor bowel control.
Poor
Yeah.
bowel control.
That's going on the podcast.
That's
there
weakness.
Should we be nice? Should we pick a strength for him?
I
we
guess
go.
so.
Strength.
I think you're fairly reliable.
Reliable.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, compared to me.
Yeah,
in
that's
like
like
the
that's
contrast.
setting the bar low.
All right, no, I think your strength is that the fact
Absolute sexiness.
that you.
Like, you'll always find time to meet up.
Yeah.
I would say with him, it's like he's not as intimidated by doing things.
This
in
is what I
public.
was going to say. That's exactly
He's
what
got
I was
balls.
going to say.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got stones.
Yes.
Boulders.
Got balls the size of buses. Which is quite awkward, really. They don't have wheels either, so can't even help me get around very far.
You got piles.
Yeah.
Courage.
Yeah. And pipes. Yeah, I'd say if I was to give myself a strength, it would be that I tend to not really care. Well, not care. I tend to not mind who I'm going up to,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, doesn't
Yeah.
matter what I'm doing, doesn't matter whatsoever. And I think that's in part because, you know,
You're just so committed.
I like the ridiculousness of the whole thing as it is anyway. So
Yeah.
when I want to try something, I
Well,
go all in.
okay, so
No.
moving on to
Yeah.
moving on to Samuel.
Okay,
Should
I'd
we-
say
should
I
we
have
be-
like...
No.
Oh, here we go. No,
We're going to
Oi.
give you your week.
I know
We'll
what's coming. I
decide.
know what's coming.
Right. So what do we start with? Strength or weakness?
Weakness.
Okay, I just
Leave on the
think like in
positive.
terms of weakness, there's just like there's nothing there with him. Like he doesn't do anything. He doesn't come up with any ideas. There's no like drive or initiative. He's just like I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember Recess?
Yes.
Yeah, the cartoon. Right, great
Are
show.
you going to say Gus?
No, probably worse than Gus. Do you remember the episode with the kid who just eats peanut butter sandwiches?
Yeah.
And like he never speaks to them or does anything. He just follows them wherever they go.
But
Samuel is like he's not quite that bad. But he's a bit like our peanut butter kid.
Samuel's like the kid who follows the peanut butter kid.
Yeah.
I'm the ice cream guy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was thinking. Do you remember when we did what was it? The challenge? Not the challenge.
I think I know where you're going with this.
No. Do you remember when we did what was it called? The football challenge video. Do you remember that?
Football.
The
Yeah.
Beadrill Boys.
Yeah. that.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing: when we did that, we had a scene of us like all working out, exercising, and Samuel was just in the corner eating the Doritos. Do you
Yeah.
remember? And that just epitomizes Samuel's character.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, I do a good job, but it takes a bloody...
Yeah.
Well,
takes a long time for me to get to that
We'll
point.
decide that. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about.
Oh, no, look at
strengths.
Mr. Rob Banks.
Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
that
no,
turn out?
Mr. Rob Banks is good. Like,
I always say, like, people will always say to a guy, like, oh, you know, you need to do this, you need to do this. But you don't have to remind him every 6 months. Like, he will get there in the end.
yeah. I feel like
Fine.
Samuel's a follower, but he's a good follower.
Mm-hmm.
Like every group sort of needs a mix of leaders and followers,
Yeah.
and Samuel fills the follower role quite well, I would say.
Yeah. I
Nathan
agree.
gets to say all this because they're brothers.
Yeah.
I can't insult him anywhere near as much, but I will. So no, I think we'll go on to strengths.
Yeah, okay. So yeah.
I say strengths.
no,
No,
t-
no,
that
no.
was a strength.
Oh right.
Is it that bad? No, like I'm not. Like like he's a follower, but he's good at following.
I agree with
Like, he's
that.
reliable, right?
Yeah, I think if someone has an idea and if as long as Samuel thinks it works,
He'll go for
he'll
it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideas himself.
No.
Oh
But-
boy.
But like the thing is, a group needs a mix of leaders and people who follow those ideas, doesn't it? In any sense.
Yeah.
And he
slaves, we
follows.
call them.
Like Jamie's our leader, Samuel's our follower.
And we're in the middle.
I was gonna say useless, but yeah, in the middle.
Yeah, but that's what in the middle means, right?
Yeah, not good at either.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so I'm probably setting myself up here. But what would you guys say are my strengths and weaknesses? And I can probably see where this is going.
Weaknesses.
He's a pussy.
Absolute pussy.
Oh, I can't do this because, or I can't do that, or this law was established in 1882, was signed on
I
this
could get
date at this
sued for
time.
20 quid.
And he's like, and I've only got £20 and a penny. And he won't go to Nando's. That's the other.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah,
That's the biggest.
It's like
weakness.
Nathan will never push boundaries with the channel.
yeah,
But like sometimes to make good content, you have to put yourself out there.
yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is that we keep trying to think outside the box as to how we can get around all these stupid rules and regulations that we need to follow. And yeah, it can be quite challenging.
And Nathan just
sometimes.
imposes more whenever we get around
Yeah.
The previous one.
Yeah, because I said to him, okay, I said to him, like, when we were doing I was surprised actually that you did the survey one that I gave you.
Right.
Because I wrote some, like, between us we wrote some things. Yeah, so I wrote something about like the library needing, like, giving free services to OAPs for like Morphine and Werther's Originals.
Oh yeah.
I was surprised you read out the one at the end was like about the stripper. What did I wrote something about a stripper, and you read that out as well.
Tax deductible.
If it was,
Oh yeah.
Does he know?
like, was it something about like strippers need to pay tax or like prostitutes or
something like that.
But you read that out, and I was surprised. I have to say.
I think it's just like when you're in the zone with it, sometimes you go with it, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what? Okay. So what about my strengths?
Oh,
Okay. So here I can say this is your strength. In terms of anything financially, in terms of anything doing any AdSense campaigns, in terms of doing anything admining.
That's like the most boring answer, but it's true.
Yeah, but that's the thing that, you know, everyone has different assets that makes us work together, and that's kind of when I know there's anything financially, like we're going to get robbed by the single penny, I know to come to you.
Yeah.
Every team needs,
an accountant.
An accountant, the physically responsible person, and to keep the odds of us in check.
And if ever we do anything that could potentially be illegal, but maybe we don't know, you're bringing out this constitution that was written like...
I'm keeping you guys out of jail.
Yeah, pretty much. So...
Well...
No, kind of.
That wasn't supposed to be such a pause after that. It was supposed to be, that was it.
Okay, so I think we all know what Jamie's weakness is, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we'll start with his strength.
All right, flatter me.
Okay, this is going to be done and dusted in about 10 seconds. His strengths are everything. His weaknesses that he's doing it with us. That's like all we need to say.
We just like weigh him down.
In terms of the channel, definitely.
We're just the pieces of shit. You just fuck him over. Like
definitely, he's the pusher, and we're the need to still be pushed more because we're...
Like his weakness is basically choosing us to do the channel with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there were three other Jamies, I think there might be like 1,000 videos already.
Yeah, we'd have like 1 million subscribers.
Imagine that. That'd be good.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. I need to find my twins. Yeah. My lost at birth. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
But then he picked us for a reason, right?
This is true. Yeah.
I don't know what that reason is, and we'll probably never find it out. But there's definitely one somewhere.
I feel like we were the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
Basically. All right. So the next topic is the future challenge. So the next video we're planning.
We've got a few ideas in mind, and actually, there's some directions that we're turning the channel in that I think could be quite interesting. And I've got one video in mind that I think is really good. And even some other ideas that we were bouncing off in chat for a while we were talking about. But I think that one of the main things, and I don't mind talking about this one or giving it out there, was our kind of supermarket challenge.
That's right.
So we have a hidden video, which was one of the first times, maybe we'll publish it one time, of us going into the supermarket. And we were just randomly putting things into people's shopping carts. And just calculating how many times you can do that without them getting caught.
And then I think you lost if you either got caught or if you just chickened out.
Yeah. Or if they left the aisle or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But that was the challenge. So, but we're still bouncing off ideas, so we're still thinking about it. But that's kind of where we're going.
Yeah, because a lot of it's kind of finding filming spots. So it's like one thing coming up with the idea, then it's another thing. Like if we have a location like the supermarket, it's then a case of like how do we film that? And then we were kind of thinking, do we hide a camera in a trolley?
Yeah.
Especially around Christmas where it gets busy.
I think in the supermarket one we did, we've got literally Nathan off camera, like literally standing there trying to look like not shady basically. So that's something we'll have to revisit. I would like to do that again.
I had an idea for the direction of the channel, but it was rejected. And it was just going to make all challenges wank challenges. We could just do it without being caught. And, I mean, I've set my own records, so...
I can imagine just tugging one out and be like, you Papa So 69.
New video.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right, guys, so to finish on, it's time for another true or false story. And it's going to be my turn this podcast. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys a story. You guess if it's true or false. We leave everyone listening on a cliffhanger, and I will reveal it in the third podcast.
Reveal it.
So, my true or false, which is Right, so my true or false is that I was almost kidnapped when I was younger.
Are we not having context?
No context.
Almost kidnapped.
Almost kidnapped.
Okay,
I feel like if someone dangled a bit of money in front of Nathan's face, I reckon
Yeah.
it's quite easy to do.
How old
So-
were you?
So let's say that I was probably, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8, that sort of age. And
Okay.
to make it a bit more interesting,
Don't.
we'll add in that the police were contacted. So it's something we're gonna say it was quite serious. Like, yeah,
Okay.
The police were contacted. You're almost kidnapped at 6, 7, or 8.
I'd say yeah, probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
Oh, boy. This took a dark turn.
Right.
Almost kidnapped.
Almost kidnapped.
Well, if I was, I wouldn't be here.
Well, quite resourceful.
So did you
It's
get
true.
into the vehicle of another person?
Can't say.
Okay.
We're literally leaving on the only three things you guys know is that I was about like 6, 7 or 8. I was almost kidnapped, and we'll say that the police were contacted about it.
True.
Okay, true.
True.
No comment.
Do you
I'm
know?
his brother, so
Right, so Samuel knows either way, so we'll give. Should
I think
we,
All right,
No
Samuel
idea.
can have a pass.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give him a bye this round.
I'm gonna go true,
so what makes
Okay,
you think
true.
it's true?
just because I think that, like, I know you, and I know that you are. It's like you're a pussy in a lot of senses, but in another sense, if you see a risk that you think is worth it, you'll take it.
What would be the risk with getting kidnapped?
if they
because-
have sweets.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like be calculating it in my head, like
As a
I
kid,
can
you
get
definitely-
kidnapped. in
Yeah.
return
Yeah,
for-
you'd have been
Hey,
like,
come play my N64.
you're just like, N64's not bad. Free ice cream, maybe. You know,
Yeah. I reckon
good trade-off.
there was a lure. I reckon someone put the bait and you just took the hook and they reeled you in. That's what I think.
So, assuming that happened,
Yeah.
hypothetically, because it might have, it might not have.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know that regardless of whether it's true or not, I wasn't like it didn't
Kidnapped,
happen, right? So, if I was lured into it, why wouldn't it have happened?
Because I reckon there was a plot twist in there, but I don't know what the plot twist
The
is.
plot twist. The plot twist was that it was the police kidnapping him.
Oh, whoa, that's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that.
no, okay, no.
yeah, because he stole money probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
probably
sounds a
that.
lot more
not
like a
a
Nathan story now.
He was kidnapped by the police for stealing money. It's actually called arrested, but Nathan has a different idea. I was kidnapped, guys. What happened? I stole money and was arrested. It's like,
Oh.
well,
Oh, you
What,
can't.
you're thinking, so that's your theory, and then you're
No,
saying, yeah, it's
Nathan,
definitely
that's
true.
not my
Right,
theory.
I'm just checking. It's hard to know with you.
Or it's something as innocent as walking out of like a bowling alley or a cinema and just going in the wrong car or something.
Yeah.
Or like
that.
at 7 or 8 years old,
Yeah.
just coming out the bowling alley by
Yeah.
myself.
You know, where there's
Yeah.
like little candy
Like a
cigarette
car-
sticks or something like that.
yeah, like smoking it,
Hmm.
you know, getting the next ice cream, free hit of ice cream from the weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. So, guys, if you want to find out whether I was really kidnapped or there was an attempted kidnappery, is that
Attempted. So
kidnappery?
actually,
I
that's
don't know, is
different.
that a word?
Well, hold on.
Oh.
That's changed.
Whoa,
it,
whoa,
'cause
whoa.
That's a kidnapping attempt, not almost, as in that could be accidental. So, was that context that it was purposeful kidnapping?
No
It's got
comment.
deep really quick.
Whoa.
No comment.
No.
Keep
Right.
saying no comment. We got nothing on this guy.
I'll leave you guys to think on that. So,
I'm
thank.
going to say true.
Okay, so we've got true
True.
and a pass for Samuel.
Samuel gets a
So at
pass.
least he gets one
We'll
right.
give him a bye.
Yeah. All right.
So thanks for listening, guys. We're going to wrap up the podcast here. So it's been good chatting to you all. Thanks for listening. Check out the channel. Wreck that subscribe button.
Hey.
Give us a like. All of that sellout stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you guys next time.
And the real thing that I'm hoping is that at least one listener was masturbating the whole way through.
All right.
Right, okay. Bye, guys.
Don't forget, you can check out the Wreck It YouTube channel, as well as the Facebook and Twitter pages for more updates and content.